Freshman Senator David Perdue shares his reaction to President Obama's State of the Union address. Take a look.
Well, I think it's more of the same. I mean, we've had 6 years of policies that really aren't reaching the objectives that he promised us back in '08. He said he would cut the deficit in half. We're on track to more than double it during his time. He said he would bring the country together, yet I would argue he's been one of the most divisive presidents in our time. He said he'd put people back to work, and yet we have fewer people working today as a percentage of the workforce than any time since 1978. So I don't hear anything much new that gives me hope that these policies are going to put people back to work, which is really why I got into politics in the first place. Well, I think there are a couple of things. One, I think we have to get control of our outrageous spending. Right now we're borrowing too much, and that threatens our military, that threatens our very way of life. We can't have a strong foreign policy without a strong military. And you can't have a strong military if you don't have a strong economy. So the first thing is to get control of this outrageous spending. The second thing is grow the economy. And as I've said, there are three things that I would focus on early. One is tax reform, real tax reform. I've co-sponsored with Senator Moran the fair tax bill that would level the playing field and help our manufacturers compete around the world. The second is I really think we have to look at this regulatory overreach that we've experienced over the last 5 or 6 years. And the third is we need to unlock our energy resources. This is a boom that we've been given. And right now the Keystone bill is a perfect example of one where we're trying to make a bipartisan, put together a bipartisan bill that will go to the president, that will absolutely put people back to work. This is a jobs bill first and last. And so I'm excited that early in my tenure here in the first 2 weeks, we've been able to co-sponsor that bill and also co-sponsor the fair tax bill as well as a term limits bill. So there's a lot to do, and we've got to focus on the priorities right now. Well, I think, most presidents find a way to work with Congress. This one has found a way to work around Congress. So I think in the next 2 years, the leadership on the Republican side is basically reaching out and saying we need to work together to get America working again, to establish a consistent foreign policy and be the leader of the free world that the world needs. That's the thing I think is that, look, nobody's going to be right 100% of the time. And from a Republican standpoint, we're looking to cooperate if it means putting people back to work, which is the #1 priority we hear out there.
Is there anything else you know?
Well, just that I think some of these policies that we've had, that you'll hear, we heard tonight the president talk about how the economy's getting better and all that. I don't see that in Georgia. Georgia's a #1 place, according to several magazines, that it's the #1 place in the country in which to do business. And yet, nationally, we have fewer people working than any time since Jimmy Carter was president. So I believe a lot of the jobs being created right now are part-time jobs. This 30-hour work week that is included in Obamacare is devastating small businesses out there. I hear all the time people ask me when I'm talking out in the state, help me get my hours up. I mean, this is a real problem out there.
You can follow Senator Perdue on Twitter. His handle is @SenDavidPerdue.